So the current standardized education system was developed in the 1890s. For the most part, it's an industrial age factory model of education that hasn't changed significantly in the last 100 years. In terms of this model, if you worked hard and achieved good grades, you went on to university, which ensured that you got a job, but this is, however, no longer a guarantee. Internationally, people are trying to figure out how to educate our youth to thrive in a world that is rapidly changing and to prepare them for a workplace that does not yet exist. Many of you know the dire statistics of the South African education system and economy as a whole, and many of these statistics are emanated throughout the continent, but let's just recap for a moment. We have 37% unemployment rate, and our youth in particular are struggling to find jobs. 68% of our grade 6 maths teachers do not have the desired subject content knowledge, and 42% of learners report being bullied at school. Alarmingly, but not surprisingly, 58% of households do not have a single book in them, let alone a computer. We have 11 official languages, where English is the predominant language of the workplace. Yet only 10% of our population speak it as their home language. In our education system, however, 90% of learners switch to English as their language of instruction in grade 4. The alarming statistics that were released at the end of last year indicate that 78% of learners can't read for meaning in any language. So let me just repeat that. That's 8 out of 10 learners that can't read for meaning in grade 4. And if you can't read for meaning, you can't read to learn. So in 2012, we set up the Click Foundation. So in 2012, we started the Click Foundation to look at how we could use technology in education to help address some of these challenges in our education system. Not only to tackle the shortcomings in basic foundational skills, but also to assist our children to leapfrog to a new paradigm and to thrive in a digital age. Given that language skills are a strong predictor of future academic achievement, educational attainment, and most importantly, employment and income, our first focus was literacy. We have a holistic, technology-based intervention, leveraging underutilized hardware already in schools or partnering with hardware donors. We provide learner logins and support within schools for connected, individualized, self-paced e-learning programs that teach essential literacy skills.
So we're in 90 schools, and that is across Gauteng, the Western Cape, and Mpumalanga. We currently have 40,000 learners that are using our online program. As somebody said, they were a technophobe or a born before technology. We have good news for you this morning. Human intervention is still a very important part of what we do. And as such, we have facilitators that assist us to run the program. So they assist in implementation, and they also assist the learners where they get stuck in the program. Currently, we're sitting at an employment rate of around 135 young people, and they predominantly come from the area where the school is. We also train teachers because we want the teachers to also learn as our learners are being taught as well. And we don't want to leave them out of the technology gap. So we've also introduced in 2018 an online SACE accredited, and the SACE accreditation is the South African, it's like a teacher accreditation course. And our course is accredited, so they too get to use technology to learn. The thing about technology, which excites us quite a bit, is that we get real-time data, which allows us to make data-driven decisions. And these data-driven decisions allow us to check what the impact is of what we do and the insights that we can get. So we move from understanding the time on task that the learners are having on the program to understanding where they get stuck on the program, and then we can take that information and give it over to the educators that then assist where the problem has been identified. We have an audacious goal of 1 million learners that we want to reach by the year 2022. I was just laughing with Nicola earlier to say in 5 years we went up to 40,000 learners, and now in another 5 years, we want to reach 1 million learners. So we'll come back here in 5 years and we'll tell you how we've done it. The thing about a software program is that it's self-paced. We cut across a lot of issues with technology and the big classroom sizes that we have. It's self-paced, so the learner gets to sit in front of a computer, they get to engage. It's almost like a one-on-one relationship. It doesn't matter how big the class is, the learner is able to sit and actually engage with the program. It's encouraging. They get to interact with a character called Sam. They get a high five if they get something right, and they get a try again if they get something wrong. So, as you would understand, lots of us have been through the classroom. When you don't understand a concept with this program, you don't have to put up your hand and say, I don't understand something, and risk being embarrassed. Because it's a one-on-one relationship with this character on screen, it really helps in terms of encouraging the kids and building their confidence. And the most important part of the program is that it's fun for learners. I have the privilege of going around the country and seeing how the program is actually being implemented at school level. And you hear a variety of things, from a learner saying, yes, I got that right, to somebody saying, oh no, okay, I need to try again, to the kids really being engaged. We've been through 2 classes where the period is just after break, and we've got kids breaking down the door, literally wanting to come inside the classroom because they're so excited to be sitting next to this computer. And it's not often that the kids have access to computers. So when we give them this opportunity, they really do take it up and they really get involved. We've also seen the absenteeism rate go down in some schools because they don't want to miss a computer lesson. From a teacher perspective, this is also an opportunity for them to see that technology is not actually scary. We do have a lot of teachers in the system that have never been exposed to using technology for learning purposes or for teaching purposes. So this for us is great because they see how their learners are engaged and they too can participate in the process. It is best practice, so the information that goes in there has been thorough. There's a due diligence that's been thoroughly done. The educators are sure that the information that they're getting is actually going to help them in the classroom. As I said earlier, it is SACE accredited, so as they do the teaching, they also earn the points that they need for their continuous development. As with anything, there's a cost to this program that we provide. We're currently sitting at around 500 Rand per learner per year to bring the software to learners at school. And this for us involves things around the licensing fees, the M&E systems that we put in place, the data analysis, the monitoring and the evaluation. And it boils down to 42 Rand per learner per month. If you just take a moment to think, what do you do with 42 rands? I know in some countries that's a cup of coffee. In South Africa, on a golf course, that's a sandwich. So for a price of a sandwich, you can bring this technology or this software to our learners at school. And the beautiful part about technology is that it's scalable. So we literally can go from 40,000 learners to 1 million learners.
So we are living in the most intensely stimulating time in history. We believe it's a time where well-implemented technology can be used to stimulate the curiosity of children, to help them cope in this fast-pacing world and fast-changing world. The Click Foundation has a coherent implementation model, and it's working even in the most challenging circumstances. And I think I'm going to steal from Sizwe's comment on this multidisciplinary collaboration, and I think that's critical here in how we implement. I think we've got 3 key pillars. It's our people, being our teachers, our learners, our facilitators. It's the logistics and implementations. Again, everybody's got ideas. It's reasonably easy to come up with ideas, but the actual outcomes and delivering outcomes, whether it's in a business or an NGO like ours, is about a well-implemented strategy. And then, of course, it's the hardware, the software, the technology, and for us, in many of the aspects of what we do, it's the enabling factor of being connected and being able to see what's going on remotely, giving access to world-class content to learners in some of the most dire circumstances in South Africa, and certainly it's a model that could be replicated elsewhere. So through this collaboration, you see that we get impact, we get scale, and we get cost effectiveness. So my parting message to you is that the key role for technology in shifting the education paradigm is not in the technology, the hardware or the software alone. We don't just need software startups and incubators. We don't need another app in the App Store, and we don't need another computer in the classroom. They are not going to make a difference alone. What we need is a holistic, collaborative approach where the people, the technology, and the process are well integrated. And most importantly, we need innovation, collaboration, and muscle to scale these projects.